Coming up on OU Nightly, our first severe weather risk of the season arrives tomorrow. I'll time out the storms and show you what to expect.
But the time has now come to suspend my campaign.
A Republican candidate in the presidential race drops out. A look at the matchup heading into the November election. And Norman voters reject an agreement with OG&E for the second year in a row. Find out how close the vote was in just a moment. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Kaylee Carnine. We begin tonight with our first severe weather chances of the year.
Your campus weather authorities are tracking that storm. Let's get over to OU Nightly meteorologist Josh Duncan for more.
Yeah, Kaylee, Bailey, here we go. A slight risk of severe weather is in effect for much of western Oklahoma. This runs from Woodward down through Elk City and Lawton. You are in a level 2 out of 5 to see severe weather tomorrow. The rest of the state, a marginal risk, level 1 out of 5 on our scale. Here come the storms late tonight. It'll be after midnight. We'll start to see a few showers and thunderstorms developing in southwestern Oklahoma. So it could be a noisy night early in the morning, and then also a wet drive to your way to work or school tomorrow. Then a dry period coming in for tomorrow afternoon before another round moves in for tomorrow evening with that risk of severe weather. We'll time out the storms and winter returns for a couple of days. Those details coming up.
Thanks, Josh. Nikki Haley is suspending her presidential campaign, leaving former President Donald Trump as the last one standing on the Republican side. Trump soared to victory last night in 14 of the 15 contests. Haley won one state, that being Vermont. With no path forward, she dropped out of the race, but she told supporters she has no regrets about her campaign.
In this campaign, I have seen our country's greatness. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, America. God bless you.
Although this is where Haley's campaign trail ends, she still made history as the first woman ever to win a GOP primary when she won Washington, D.C. on March 3rd.
And President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are walking away from Super Tuesday with sweeping victories, including Oklahoma. Both candidates pull away from their respective primaries in Oklahoma with over 80% of the total vote. Biden snagged all 52 delegates from Oklahoma in the Democratic primary, and then Trump took away 37 of the state's 43 delegates in the Republican primary.
Although the nominations are not official yet, Biden and Trump are the presumptive nominees. With the general election on the horizon, the leaders of the OU Republicans and the OU Democrats agree on one thing. They will vote based on their dislike for the other candidate.
This is a tough question, but definitely my disdain for Donald Trump, 100%.
I don't want Biden to be president. Above all things, I don't want Biden to be president.
The next primary on the 2024 campaign trail is tonight. It's the Democratic primary in Hawaii.
And last year, Norman residents rejected an agreement with OG&E. And yesterday, history repeated itself. OU Nightly's Hallie Moss has the latest.
The Oklahoma Gas and Electric Company was shot down once again by Oklahoma citizens, but this time by a margin of only 33 votes.
This bill would have granted OG&E access to city easements to make repairs and improvements easier and quicker. So why was the bill vetoed? Many say because of the 25-year length of the contract, which would in turn give the city of Norman no negotiating power in the future. We reached out to both OG&E and the city of Norman for an interview, and instead both sent official statements. OG&E officials say they're disappointed with the outcome of the election, stating, over the past 5 years, OG&E has worked in good faith with the city, investing tens of millions of dollars, improving reliability in the absence of a franchise agreement. Unfortunately, that good faith was not reciprocated. The city of Norman says electric service is essential to residents and business owners, and that the city will continue to operate under an implied contract with OG&E. Future action regarding this matter cannot be detailed at this time, as the repeat failure of franchise agreements is unprecedented in Oklahoma.
The state of Oklahoma requires an agreement to be approved by popular vote, meaning both sides will now potentially negotiate changes, and this vote could be back on the table soon. Reporting from City Hall, Hallie Moss, OU Nightly.
And to stay in the loop on upcoming public meetings and new developments, you can go to the City of Norman's website.
And just an hour ago, House lawmakers voted to avert a partial government shutdown, but more deadlines loom. OU Nightly's John Hornack has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
The House just passed a $460 billion package of spending bills that would avoid a partial government shutdown until the end of the fiscal year. The Senate is expected to vote on it before the shutdown deadline, midnight Friday. Negotiations continue on a second package to adequately fund federal agencies before another shutdown deadline on March 22nd. Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell announces Wednesday he will support Donald Trump for the presidency. McConnell's endorsement comes after a string of Trump victories in yesterday's Super Tuesday elections. It has been more than 3 years since they last spoke. McConnell also blamed Trump for the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. In the Middle East, Hamas says it will continue negotiations to reach a ceasefire in Gaza. Their aim is to reach an agreement before the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, which begins Sunday. The World Health Organization warns hundreds of thousands of people in Gaza are at risk of famine. The United Nations says nearly 40% of its aid missions were denied or impeded by Israel in February. And the House committee investigating anti-Semitism on college campuses says that Harvard University has, quote, absolutely failed to comply with subpoenas for documents. Bailey, Kaylee.
Thanks, John. And the Dean's Search is underway here at Gaylord College, with 5 different candidates coming within the week to give a short speech and answer questions. Ireland Fitzer is live in the newsroom with more on one of those candidates.
As the search for Gaylord's dean continues, candidates are having Q&As and open forums for those to come and ask questions. But we're able to sit down with one of those dean candidates, Mike Betcher, experienced journalist and teacher here at the school. Betcher spoke on new plans for OU Nightly's soon-to-be set and also gave us his opinion on the dispute doctor that will be brought into the college to help with workplace environment issues, as first reported by the OU Daily.
When students come back in the fall, it's going to have, a swoopy-doopy $1 million set. Those sets aren't cheap. They are $1 million sets. I think families should try to solve the problems inside the families, but sometimes it doesn't become possible. And you need an expert to help bring people together sometimes.
We will keep you updated on the other candidates and the process as it continues. Live in the newsroom, Ireland Fitzer, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ireland. After the break, many coastal cities are becoming more exposed to devastating flooding.
We'll tell you which cities are most at risk and why when we return.
And a decline in ice in the Arctic Ocean could be coming soon.
Learn more about ice-free days and its impact when OU Nightly returns.
My baby's back from the West Coast.
Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe. And it's the best way to protect that legacy.
Ah, those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mom a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Oh,
great idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay.
Smart.
I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Many coastal cities are sinking at alarming rates, exposing them to coastal flooding. Emma McAndrews has this and the details in today's Earth Report.
According to a new study reported in the journal Nature, New York City, Atlantic City, Virginia Beach, Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia are the cities sinking the most. The study also included the Gulf Coast, specifically parts of southern Louisiana and southeast Texas. Scientists say this is primarily due to excessive extraction of groundwater and oil and gas. Every day for the past year, temperatures across the North Atlantic Ocean broke daily record highs. Researchers say this could cause stronger, more devastating hurricanes. They also warn warmer temperatures will negatively affect marine ecosystems and cause extreme weather in general. The Arctic Ocean could see ice-free days within the decade. Scientists define ice-free as less than 386,000 miles of ice. The consequences of ice-free days are still unknown, but the ecological impact is expected to be major. And look here, off the coast of Massachusetts, a gray whale has been spotted. What's interesting is the whale has basically not been seen in the Atlantic Ocean for more than 200 years. Why the sudden appearance? Scientists are looking at whether warmer ocean temperatures may be the reason. Bailey, Kaylee.
Yeah, Emma, and something else we haven't seen in a while, OU football, but this offseason, one player isn't chasing national championships or Big 12 accolades. He's chasing change in the community.
When we return, see how you can help him on his mission to serve others.
And we are getting ready for multiple rounds of showers and storms over the next couple of days. I'll show you how much rain you can expect coming up.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Punch down time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Pasta dinner.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. It is a pretty nice Wednesday out there as we take a look at the South Oval. Current temperature in Norman is 70 degrees with a mostly sunny sky, some clouds out there. Then the clouds will thicken up as we head into the evening. So here's a look at Futurecast. We're dry for this evening, but after midnight, some scattered showers and storms will start to move in from the southwest. So it could be a bit of a noisy night after about 3 or 4 a.m. for some. And then as you're waking up tomorrow morning, getting ready to leave the house, be prepared for a wet start to the day. So rain jacket, umbrella, things you might need in the morning. And then as we get into the afternoon, most of this rain should shift off to eastern Oklahoma. So we should catch some dry time throughout much of the day for your Thursday here in Norman. But we will be turning our attention to northwestern Oklahoma, where another round of storms will begin to develop. And that's the one we're a bit more concerned with, some severe weather potential coming in tomorrow evening into tomorrow night as that will move southeast across the state. So here's a look at the severe weather hazards for tomorrow. It's a pretty low end risk, but wind and hail are possibilities. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts can't be ruled out with some of the storms across the state tomorrow, especially after dark tomorrow evening. And it's going to be another warm day with highs in the low to mid 70s for most areas. Not much sunshine tomorrow, but it won't be raining the whole day. So again, here's the outlook for tomorrow. A slight risk across western Oklahoma. Watch how this changes as we head into Friday. It shifts to the east. So still a slight risk for southeastern Oklahoma. Meanwhile, some colder air will be starting to work in further northwest. So here we go, picking back up with Futurecast. Starting on Friday now, some isolated showers and storms possible in the morning, and then we'll be watching the panhandle for developing snow later on Friday morning. Meanwhile, more storms developing near and southeast of I-35 as we head into early Friday afternoon, and temperatures dropping throughout the day on Friday. So it will be a much chillier day as we end the work week. Rainfall totals looking like a ½ inch to 1 inch of rain possible across the east, maybe up to a ½ inch here in the metro, and lighter amounts out across the northwest. And here it comes on Friday, return to winter. So it'll be feeling like the 40s and eventually the 30s once we get into Friday evening. So much colder than it will be tomorrow. And then Saturday, even colder with wind chills. That'll be in the low 20s. So again, winter is still technically here, and it's going to feel like it for sure as we start the weekend. Your 7-day forecast shows some of the weather changes we have coming. So 70 tomorrow, 58 Friday, but falling temperatures. The weekend starts out cold with a low in the low to mid 30s, and then it is going to be a cold start to Sunday morning as well, but already warming up early next week.
Man, I am not looking forward to those cold temperatures. I thought we were rid of winter, honestly.
I know, I was not quite looking forward to it, but I am excited to see some rain. I think it'll be good for us.
Yeah, just a couple more days of cold, and those storms we'll be watching tomorrow.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Josh. And let the competition begin. Sign-up starts today for the second annual Give Contest, a mission to give to those in need. OU football defensive lineman Ethan Downs started the Give effort. And this year, all organizations are invited to give to the cause, including food, clothing, and other personal necessities.
The food flies right off the shelf. The clothing flies right off the clothing racks. I mean, we need everything we can get to support 500 plus students and staff that we're seeing each and every week.
The competition officially starts after spring break and will last for 3 weeks. Now, in the meantime, organizations can sign up with the link found on the OU Food Pantry's Instagram. And moving on to the baseball world, OU baseball looks to bounce back after a rough weekend in Las Vegas.
OU Nightly's Ryan Smith has that and more in sports.
And it was senior night at the Lloyd Noble Center for OU men's basketball. Did the Sooners send them off with a win, or was there a claw out at the LNC? I'll have that and more coming up next in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I'm Ryan Smith, and it's time for sports. For the OU men's basketball seniors, Tuesday was their final time under the Lloyd Noble Center lights, as OU looked to send off their seniors with a win against Cincinnati. And down by 2 with 18 seconds left in the second half, Latrey Darthard connects from downtown to put OU ahead by 1. But fast forwarding to OT, Sooners up by 3, and Cincinnati misses the tying shot as OU closes out their final regular season home game with a win 74-71. Head coach Porter Mosier talked about his seniors' special night.
It's what scripts are made of. You know, your seniors playing a huge game with ramifications, and to make huge plays. I mean, to hit that big 3 off there. I mean, what a shot.
And even though it's March 6th, football stays in the spotlight year-round in the Sooner State. OU Nightly's Britton Ross has more from OU football's Spring Media Day. Britton?
OU spring football is right around the corner, and head coach Brent Venables can breathe a little bit easier this season. He announced today that his wife Julie is now cancer-free, and he shared what that experience was like.
It's terrifying. It's you're never real comfortable, so you keep everything in perspective. And but really thankful. We had a great team of doctors and nurses and things of that nature. But she's tough as all get out, and she's been doing great. So appreciate that. Appreciate everybody's prayers.
Venables and the Sooners will take the field for spring practice on March 11th, and the spring game is set for April 20th at 1 p.m. Reporting from Heisman Park in Norman, Britton Ross, OU Nightly.
It's great to hear from the Venables family. Thanks, Britton. And after losing for the first time in over a calendar year last Sunday, OU softball looks to start a new winning streak tonight against Texas A&M Commerce. And the Sooners' mentality going into tonight's matchup is all about bouncing back.
And I think that really just kind of put a fire under our team, and I think it's going to help us in the long run, like Sid was saying. So, I mean, you reset every game, and I mean, it's hard to go out day in, day out and just perform at your best. So I think it's really good for us that we kind of got hit back in the face and we know how to respond. So it's going to be exciting to see what this team does for sure.
And tossing it over to the mound, OU baseball took on Wichita State in a midweek clash on Tuesday. Easton Carmichael got the scoring started with a sac fly in the second on his way to a 2-for-3 day. And Grant Stephen notched his first win of the season with the Sooners shocking the Shockers 5-3. Bailey, Kaylee, back to you.
Well, it's officially March Meowness for a public library in Massachusetts.
When we return, we'll show you how this library is celebrating and helping the community.
If you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo? Donating to a pet's medical care can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Pasta and chocolate dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
I'm Abigail Franklin with an update on death row inmate Michael Smith. The Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board denied clemency for Smith today. And within the last hour, the Attorney General's office shared with me that Smith has a current appeal pending. Smith has also asked the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals for a stay of execution. And the AG's office, quote, has filed or will be filing objections to these motions. I reached out to Smith's defense attorney, Mark Henriksen, on the topic. Michael Smith is scheduled for execution on April 4th. Bailey, Kaylee.
Thanks for that update, Abigail. Now something happy. Felines erasing fines one photo at a time. Worcester Public Library is accepting pictures or drawings of cats in exchange for lost or damaged books. And in the first 5 days, 400 accounts were clawed and cleared. The idea started when the library noticed a lot of younger book readers had fees dating back to the start of the pandemic. This March Meowness is the perfect way for people to get back into reading. And back here in Norman, we are tracking some storms. Let's get over to Josh for one last look.
Yeah, storms will move in late tonight into tomorrow morning, then a dry period tomorrow afternoon before another round of storms for tomorrow night, a colder rain for Friday, and then it will be a chilly start to the weekend with lows in the low 30s. Don't forget spring forward on Sunday morning.
Thanks, Josh, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Kaylee Carnine. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because it felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay. Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Will be on our website, the National Air and Space Museum's website, starting tomorrow. And if you know anybody watching NASA television at home, NASA will be showing it throughout the day today and tomorrow. So spread the word that you now know what historians and archivists do. And I hope you have a much better understanding of Sally Ride's significance, not just as